next stop is On the Radar Radio.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please. Yeah.
Yes, sir, baby. On the Radar Radio. Yo, special guest in the building. The mayor of Dunkin' Donuts in the building. DJ Luke is in the building. You like that, right?
Yeah, no. The mayor. Yeah,
that's what you said
I said it, but it might be the wrong word. Spokesman
for Dunkin' Donuts. Because I was like, I took this like caption of, I guess, somebody who interviewed you, and they said like, and we had a great conversation mostly about Dunkin' Donuts, right? But you're obviously a Massachusetts
guy, so the Dunkin' is just part of the kit. You know what I'm saying?
What do you normally get from Dunkin'? Like, what's like the DJ Lucas special?
My drink is always medium iced coffee, 2 milk, 2 liquid sugar. But if I need some food right there, I might have a yogurt at home. If I haven't had my yogurt, I'm getting hash browns.
Yeah, classic.
Keep it simple.
Classic. Yeah, I'm more like, I want to say, I'm not even like a Starbucks guy either, to be honest. I like
Starbucks too.
You do like Starbucks?
That sounds crazy, but I just like coffee. I like, you know what I mean? I like traveling. So I like all fast food and like coffee places in a little bit.
I was gonna say, are you like one of those? Because I have friends who are like those coffee guys who like get like the different, who like they have like coffee subscription services, and they get like,
no, I'm not all the way. I'm a Dunkin' guy. Like all those kind of people think I'm crazy for drinking so much Dunkin'.
I don't think you're crazy for it. I used to be like a very I used to be a very heavy Dunkin' Donuts iced coffee guy too. In the morning. But then I don't know. I think like the sugar and shit, I started like getting like fat from it, and then I just started drinking black coffee, and I haven't gone back. He thinks I'm a serial killer because of it, but fuck it.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I mean, I feel like the homies get like a small coffee, black, from Dunkin' when you want to start to get like same vibe you're doing. You can do that at Dunkin'.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to have you here, bro.
Thank you, man.
I remember like it's funny because like Calvin was like, oh yeah, we got DJ Lucas and coming in, and like I was like, oh shit, like I remember I had watched his like No Jumper interview from like years ago, right? So I was like so happy when he said that you were coming here, and it's funny because like I feel like lately on the Radar we've had like a surge of artists from Massachusetts coming to the show. Like we did the Van Buren guys out of Boston. Obviously we got Millie's. Like everything from like kind of like the I guess you could say more lyrical, conscious artists to some like the new wave to like the Millies, and then like drill artists like G Nipsey. Like I really like where Massachusetts has kind of been at this past year, man.
Yeah, we had a great year. I mean, so many artists, but yeah, man, we're just always been in the shadow of New York a little bit historically. So glad you putting everyone from Massachusetts up here because that's what it's gonna take, you know. And we have a real diverse like sound, like you're saying, like soundscape, like all kinds of different music comes out of Boston and all of Massachusetts, and you know what I mean. Now that we're embracing Massachusetts as a whole, like all of us fuck with each other in different cities. You know what I mean. So that's really like that's exciting.
And I think it's cool because obviously you've seen like a lot of these artists who I just mentioned. They're I guess kind of more newer. You know, these last like 3-4 years.
Well, Millie's been around for a minute.
I was gonna say aside from Millie's,
Millie's a legend for sure.
Millie's has been here, but like with you and kind of seeing how like the Massachusetts scene has grown. What do you feel like has made it like kind of to the point where we are now? Like, what is like whether it's like structurally, like what has kind of improved that makes you feel like like now it's like more Massachusetts artists are being accepted, like there's more of a spotlight now. Aside from like, you know, On the Radar bringing them up, or
I think that like in general, smaller areas away from big cities with the internet, like it's only gonna get more and more like that. We're gonna tap into smaller areas. You know what I mean? We get obsessed with like the Detroit sound. That's still a major city, but then it gets smaller into St. Louis or the Milwaukee sound, like etc. So I think there's just so much uncovering to do in the country still for our music and creative stuff. And so Boston's never had the royal treatment with hip hop, and you know, we're all working hard on it right now, and people are, I think, fucking with it. It's pretty much it. It's like we're getting the eyes finally because of the internet.
I was gonna say, like, what, like, you know, we talk about like kind of getting the eyes and whatnot. Like, what has been like the hardest part for you since like the beginning of your career and you grinding all the years to get like the eyes finally on you? You know what I'm saying? And get people to pay attention and people to care and whatnot.
It's just nonstop. Do it, putting out content all the time, never stop. You know, the independent grind. Like I treat everything like content every day. Like, you know, a show is content, a music video is content, this is content. Yeah. But you know, you just gotta always be putting out more and more. That's really it. And I just got that chip on my shoulder. I'll never stop with the music shit. Like I always just wanted to do it forever. You're
a heavy content guy too, which is why I fuck with you, because it's like you understand, right? Like you understand like the content game, you understand like the meme game. I think one of my favorite things that you have posted this thing on your gram, and it's like it's like a strip in America with like all the fast food restaurants.
Yeah, that's my new album cover.
That's a new album cover, right? But like what I love about that is because like I feel like that's been a meme for so long, where it's like if you really like go on road trips a lot, especially from New York to Mass, 90% of the time, like every 30 minutes, you're gonna run past one of those types of like strip areas with like the Gulf Station, the Mobil Station, the McDonald's, the Chick-fil-A, all that shit, right?
Yeah.
With that, like, what was the intent with making that like your album cover too?
It's just, that's how I see my life, is just like, man, is traveling a lot. I see the road is my home, you know, and so I've been traveling my whole life. I've never really flown as much. I really drive. I drive to Cali, you know. Drive to Cali's crazy. Like, you know, 7 or 8 times I've done that from Massachusetts, like, and just tap in, do shows across the country. Like, I'm like, I always love like House of the Rising Sun and that kind of music, and like my dad would put me onto that kind of music, you know, like train hopper music, you know what I mean? Like, I realize now that's really like where it's sort of that like Americana, like just, you know, checking out the country, you know what I mean? Like, that's really where it all is for me. And then living where I'm from, in a small town, little old town, you know what I mean? Like, you just have that strip, that's all you have, you know what I mean? And that's just like, instead of continuing to just try to show the past, I was like, let me just show what's happening in 2024. Let me show what's happening in 2020, because this will be interesting in 100 years. Right.
I was going to say, how does that Americana sound and like that train hopper music that you kind of do, how does that play a part in this? Well, first of all, what's this album called?
My new album's called Little Old Town.
Little Old Town.
And it just came out. It's way more like maybe like traditional hip hop sounds in some ways, but shout out Deviant. He made all the beats from suburbs outside of Chicago. And so we got together and, you know what I mean, like, made a great little tape. A lot of features on it, all the homies on it and shit.
How do those sounds that you had mentioned, the Americana, the train hopper music, how does that come about full circle into this project, if it even had like any influence? Like,
well, I think like train hopping music, when I say that, I mean like the House of the Rising Sun and the Traveling Man and Trailer for Sailor Rent and that kind of that kind of music is like, it was hip hop. Right, it was the gangster music of the time. Like, cowboys were gangsters of that era, like, etc. So it really is the same shit already, just inherently. So it comes around like that. Like, maybe even people don't realize that, but they're on the same timing.
1000%. Well, with the little town theme behind the project, like, what was like the intent, like, with what you wanted to show? Because, you know, you mentioned, like, you through this interview already, you've already mentioned like little town a couple times, right? You're from a little town in Mass. You only had that strip. Like, what about like the little town, I guess, like, theme behind this project, like, entice you to make this about that? And like, I guess, what are some of like the core themes that you really want people to take away from it?
So, I mean, I grew up on hip hop, you know, like a lot of rappers did. Like, fucking, I just, you know, when you listen to Nas, you listen to New York City rappers, they talk about New York, they talk about the deli, they talk about where they're from, they talk about street names. And so I always thought that's what you have to do in hip hop. You have to talk about where you're from. So I say my street name, I say my area, I say the apartment complex down the street from my house, I say my school, I say things that are specifically only true to 413, to Western Mass. So that's Little Old Town. That's just embracing where you're from, even though it's not hip hop or cool to a certain whatever thing, or maybe it is cool and you just don't think it is. So I just wanted to be, when you look at Massachusetts rap, Western Massachusetts rap, I wanted, you know, to see some cool shit. So Little Old Town is not really a thesis. It's more just like, it makes you think, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it makes you think about home. That's what I try to do, make people think about home.
And I think that's something that like is very much missing in hip hop right now. Like, I think there's a lot of great artists who put those themes out there, but it's not like always in like the mainstream thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like lately what I've been really enjoying in hip hop is music that doesn't feel as big in scale. It feels like closer to home. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's kind of like what is starting to become more prevalent again and more like taken in by consumers, because I think we've been kind of fed like these like grand scale levels of hip hop all these years, which is great. There's nothing wrong with it, but we kind of like have been missing like that real like kind of homey feel in rap as of late. So I think that's really cool that you did that with this project too, because it's like, I think we need things like that, and especially like coming from Mass and you being like a artist from Massachusetts that is like, you know, different from many of the other ones that I've had on the show too. Like, I think that kind of makes it that much more special too.
Good looking. Yeah, no, I'm happy to be here. They always got to spread my message. I mean, I come from the punk rock world and I come from the underground hip hop world of Western Mass. You know, I mean, I come from a real close knit community and a real, you know, sharing and loving and, you know, and being an audience for people. Like, I came out of an area where people will really watch you and be an audience, you know, for artists when they're early on and they're not established. So I got to shout out just where I'm from for that.
And, you know, you mentioned how much you're on the road, right? I actually took this very long Instagram post that you had put it up a little while ago, because I was like, damn, he really be everywhere. Because you had talked about this tour that you did with Subject in the Middle. What's up, my boy?
Yeah, shout out Subject 5, Papo in here.
Yeah, and Papo too, you know what I'm saying? And you did 21 shows 30 days, 30 states, 1 Prius.
Yes, sir.
Was it really a Prius?
Yeah,
was this really a Prius, guys? Oh my. You're lying. The Prius is outside.
Yeah, the Prius is outside right now.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I just got an oil change.
Oh my God. So explain to me how traveling to, I'm sorry, let me get 30 states and 1 Prius.
Yeah.
What is that experience like?
That's what I'm saying. It's awesome.
It's not a van either. You know what I'm saying?
It's how I look at music. It's as I said, you're just gonna be on the road and you're tapping in with new cities every night, and in between nights you're tapping with another city. And
right.
I mean, yeah, we had one stretch in there where we did I think like 7 or 8 shows in a row, like the whole West, day for day, but yeah, it was awesome, man. Like we had an amazing experience, and it was the best tour of my life. Pulled a lot of heads out, and some of the cities it's just like insane. It's like it's like crazy, but yeah, man, I booked the whole tour damn near too. Subject and Papa, we all booked it ourselves.
Right, we talked about, first of all, congrats on the tour, boys. You know what I'm saying? Congratulations on a successful tour. But no agents, no manager. Like that was one of the biggest pieces that stuck out to me. And another part, besides the Prius, of course, why I wrote this quote down from your grant, because it's like, how do you even, like, we tried to put on a show once. I wanted to kill myself, right?
Yeah.
How do you put on that many shows, no manager, no booking agent, 1 Prius, and you still stay mentally sane the whole way through?
It's hard. It's hard. It's an art to it. It's all about learning to nourish relationships and have relationships with people, and have situations where it's fair on both sides. And we're coming through to be the music, and we go to bars and we hang out with people that have venues, and we hang out with people in these little cities. We go to recon missions. We go to a city for 3 times before we play a show sometimes, and just go hang out and go tapping with producers we like and artists.
Yeah.
But we just see the lay of the land, and then we make that email, and then we say, hey, let's do it. And then it doesn't take too much, but I feel you. It is extremely stressful too.
Yeah.
But, I mean, and booking that tour, just like a month of my life, maybe even 2, just booking it, and then the actual tour.
Right.
But man, just interacting with the fans and the physical there's nothing like it.
Was California the furthest you went with the Prius?
The furthest we went all the way up to, like Seattle area,
okay, Seattle,
Everett, Washington, and then we came down to Bozeman, Montana. Like people don't play Bozeman that much. I mean, I see it now actually on people's tours, but I was like, damn, we out here.
I've never heard of Bozeman, Montana until just now. So
it's lit. It's actually lit out there.
Shout out Bozeman. It's a city, or it's like or it's like one
for
of the
Montana.
Strips? It's like one of the strips.
Yeah. It's a mix of both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out Bozeman, Montana. I never heard of that city, but I'm gonna come. I guess I'm gonna come through soon. But I love that you did this all. How many miles did y'all put on the car? Whose car is it? First of all,
it's my car.
Oh, it's his car. Okay.
I don't know. Over 3,000.
Damn.
Right.
Yeah.
4,000.
That's
5,000.
crazy.
I can't. I looked at it. I forget right now.
Well,
there's thousands.
But with Papo and Subject, like, how far back does this all go? Like, how long have you guys?
The 3 of us have known each other now for like 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
Yep.
What's the beginning of like these friendships?
Our collision is more of like kind of like, we had both had our own groups and our own come ups and our own history. Dark World on my side, they had 2004, and then when we met, it was just like 2 groups of artists meeting each other, and then we just slowly were like, yo, we're making music together. And then I was upstate New York for a while. They would come up there. They're in Jersey. Now I'm in Jersey a lot of the time. So we just had a lot of time to work. And they were just hungry for the same shit I was, just being on the road, making music, doing the shows. It just was perfect. And then we all, I've known Wick forever.
Right.
And so they got linked in with Wick, and now it's just been a big ass family.
Right, now it's kind of like a little, family, but also like a network now. It's like,
and it's dope because it's like East Coast. It's like Jersey, New York, Mass.
Yeah.
And then we tap in with Connecticut, we tap in with Vermont, we try to bring the whole New England and the whole New York thing together, because the New York audience a lot of times is New England. That's what, people got to know. So
that's fire. With Wiki, you mentioned Wick. How far back does that go then?
I've known Wick forever. Wick was on tour with Rat King back in the day. He came through to open up for Jizza at Pearl Street in 2013 or 14, something like that. And I just hit up whoever was. I think I hit up one of them, and then I was just like, yo, if you guys need somewhere to stay, I got y'all. And they just were like on some punk rock shit. Like, yo, I thought they were famous as fuck, because Rat King was big. They were on the cover of Fader and everything. Yeah. So I was just like elated. Like they came through, had them at the crib, and we all chilled that night, like on some artists coming together. And so ever since then, Wick always just looked out for me, put me on tours. I always just chilled around.
That's fire.
New York, they put me in an apartment when I first moved to New York with like their friends and stuff.
Did you ever get to see Wick's freestyle in here?
Yeah, of course.
That shit is fire.
Man,
that shit was incredible. That shit is incredible. Dark World, that's yours, or explain to me what Dark World.
Dark World's just the name of just the enterprise since
Okay.
back in the day. Yeah, these are my first tattoos when I was 17, so I'm 30 now. So it's been 13
I mean,
years.
they aged well though. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, I got them redone with the pen. They were like stick and poke in a Hampshire
Right.
College dorm room.
Where's Dark World at right now? Like, what are you working on through the enterprise? Like, is there any other artists or?
There's lots of other artists. There's tons of artists. Like, we're always associated with just like pretty much uplifting anything in Western Mass, and then anything that me and my brother get behind. Dark World started was like me and my brother, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? And then we've had like a million different artists throughout the years. But right now, I got my homies 22 Baby. That's E-Rat, who's been in Dark World since day one. Ride or Die, Finesse Fresco. You know what I'm saying? Then Reed, of course, Sly C. You know what I'm saying? And then 2004, I've been with them a lot.
Fire.
Yeah.
So we got the project out right now. So what's else is kind of like in the works this year? What are we cooking? Like, what's going on?
I just put out Little Old Town like last week. I'm gonna push on that for a minute. Everyone go listen to that, please. And then I'm just gonna keep making music, keep putting out music videos. I'm gonna play a lot of shows. I got a lot of shows booked right now.
Physical CDs.
Physical CDs, always selling merch. Vinyls coming this year. Tours, content. Same old shit. Just keeping people entertained, man. I see myself as just an entertainer. It's just trying to keep people entertained. I hope people like when I put up shit on Instagram. Of course, I like likes and things, all that feeling, but it's really about making people happy.
I love that you do. I feel like in like the the Wikis, like what I love is that like y'all, the Griseldas too, like y'all care about like the physical aspect of it. You know what I'm saying?
That's from me coming from the punk shit and growing up. That's how I found hip hop at Newbury Comics CD store in Boston and West Mass. And there was a chain. I grew up, Lil Wayne CD. The used CDs were $5.99 there. Lil Wayne, Clips, Naughty by Nature. That's how I found hip hop was physicals. So I'm 30, like I said, so I grew up at the end of the CD era for sure.
Favorite punk band of all time?
Jesus Lizard, the Jesus Lizard.
Why?
I don't know. They have an unhinged singer, David Yao. He's crazy as fuck, but then they got like a really tight band. Right. Like the drummer is he could be a hip hop drummer. So I thought that's cool. Like I like the mix of craziness and artistry, right? And tightness. Yeah. I'm a punk cat, so
we're trying to do more punk bands on the radar. So if you
that's what I see punk as. Like a true punk is like you got to look like you don't care, but you care a lot. Yeah.
If you got any punk recommendations for bands or artists, come up here, please. Yeah, let me know, huh?
You should bring up punk bands. You got to bring up fucking Jesus Piece. You got to bring up Vane.
I'll do it.
You never heard of them?
No.
Oh, you got to bring them up. You got to bring up Feeling Mouth.
See, look, we got DJ. We got him he's gonna be an A&R on the radar now too. He's gonna be our punk rock A&R soon now too. Definitely. Cal, you want to come ask your Cal's question? Absolutely. Let's do it. You're moving a little slow today, boy.
Yeah, it's 'cause got all these.
Oh shit, we got a secret question going on.
Yeah, yes, sir. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Cal's Questions.
Oh shit.
DJ, my question for you today is what made you decide to do that freestyle over the Gorillaz Feel Good Inc. And what was like the energy like in the studio or in the room while you were recording that?
Yeah, that's so I made a whole tape called Mysteries of the Bike Path 2 where I was just rapping all over beats that were other rappers' beats, like in the vein of a Lil Wayne dedication series, rapping on other people's beats.
Some real mixtape shit, yeah.
Yep. So, and I had Subject host that shit, killed that shit, real hip hop. But fucking Feel Good Inc. is just an obvious choice for me to rap over. I'm trying to find things that interact with where I'm from, like, a small, like liberal Massachusetts town. Like, what are the hip hop songs that really connected with people? They were fucking Feel Good Inc. I don't know. That's the best way I could put it. Like, that shit I feel like that song speaks to my childhood heavy. Like Lupe Fiasco, like beats, that kind of era. Like, that shit's just
food
really,
and liquor type of shit.
Yeah, I gotcha. Like, I rapped that whole I gotcha at camp back in the day. Like, you got the flavor, ma. Yeah, I gotcha. With the banks to the banks to the mobsters. You want the real? That shit. Like, that shit hard.
That's fine. Good question, Cal. Good one. Well, look, man. New album out now. Go check it out. Freestyle now. By the time I see this, go check that out.
DJ. Yeah.
What else we got coming up that the people gotta know about? Let them know where they can follow you at. All that good stuff. Now's the time to do it.
DJ Lucas 413. DJ Lucas 413 on everything, man. 413 Western Mass right now. I'm on everything. Yeah, man. Little Old Town out now. Check that out.
Little Old Town out now. Well, look, go run up that freestyle. Make sure you go follow him. Go run up the project. Go show him some love. Go show him some support. Love is free. Support is free. But y'all already knew that. Till next time, DJ Lucas on the radar.
Clean.
Not an actual DJ. We out. Bye.